Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Star Trek Online. So right now we are going to be starting the Cold War missions. They should be pretty short, if I recall correctly. So, we've received a request for aid from the Defuri, a warp-capable species in the Alpha Quadrant. They're located near Cardassian space, and they've reported several attacks on their shipping. Since the Defuri are not as technologically sophisticated as the Federation, and they are asking for help, we should assist them. Head out there and see what you can do. And they are all the way over here. Okay, they're not that far away. Trilithium Druid. It's a pretty funny name. Is it Badlands Battlestone? I didn't know that. Wonder what that's like. Ah, all things in balance, all things in time. I was quite impressed with the successful outcome of the recent trade negotiations at Starbase 39 Sierra, and I am pleased to invite the Federation to send an envoy to the Defuri system for a more formal meeting. This could be a great opportunity for both of our peoples. The Federation has requested an alliance with us on several occasions, but my people's adherence to balance has prevented it. Now they are more open to the idea of ties with other worlds. Perhaps your visit will be the start of a lasting friendship between our peoples. There's a deflector array cryo grenade. Stop. Before I do anything, I should probably figure out what's going on with my inventory here real quick. Yeah, let's get rid of some this stuff here. I can salvage some of this stuff. Get some crafting materials. Klingon Glatzt. Okay. Don't I need those for something? And I have a ton of shit on me. I need to figure out what is going to be useful for me and what isn't. Actually, one thing I can do maybe is give you these things. That way I can get these out of my inventory. That I'll take from you. And I'll just give you these. There. Oh, and Jemadar armor. I guess I'll give you that. You know, since I have it, why don't I give you this? Yeah, that should help me out a bit. uh. Alright. Begin cold call. We have arrived at the Teferi system, sir. Performing standard sensor sweeps now. Sir, some of this debris is only days old, but there have been no reports from the Teferi of accidents or combat in this area. I don't like the looks of this. I recommend that we proceed with caution. The Jessica is standing by for the approach to Teferi. Shall we begin our escort? Welcome to Teferi. May you be blessed with balance. We appreciate the Federation's willingness to meet with us in these trying times. Getting a bit close there. Some of these ships are very interesting. When it comes to design. Oh, hello, Jay Gizzy. Thank you. Oh. Sir, we're picking up an approaching warp signature. Attempting to identify it now. Everything can open fire at it. Oh, god damn it. What was that? Sir, the ship was running a subspace jammer, so we weren't able to get a lock on it before it warped out. I am, however, picking up a residual warp signature, and we might learn more from a detailed scan. There's not enough here to get a lock on the warp trail, Captain. The ship is using jamming technology. Greetings, Jessica, escort ship. Oh, greetings, Jessica, escort ship, Lady Gaia. We are required to identify your credentials and verify you are in fact the correct ship prior to granting you access to Defura. Please submit to a scan at this time. Understood. Do you require assistance? No assistance is required at this time, Lady Gaia. Thank you for your cooperation. Our scans are complete. Please provide us with your clearance code before you establish orbit around Defura. Our Defura access code is 946W2QOS. Thank you for the protection and escort. Your diligence and readiness does you credit. Perhaps later we will be able to learn more about that strange ship. For now, let us discuss the possibility of trade and diplomacy between our peoples. My attaché will send you the planetary coordinates for transport. These coordinates will take you to one of our famous historical parks and preservation sites. I hope that you enjoy your visit to Defura. When you are ready to talk, please meet me on the steps of the historic tower. It will be across the park, past the monument when you arrive. Welcome to Defura, honored visitor. This site is the oldest continually inhabited site on my world, and as such, we find it to be the ideal place to welcome visitors. Tell me about Defura. Sorry. We have an old culture steeped in tradition and respect for all beings. The Makers taught us the concept of balance, and we strive for it in all things. For more than a century, we have remained neutral in our dealings with other worlds. For where there is balance, so also is there truth. We are now looking to expand. The population is growing to a point where we will put a strain on our world's resources. To correct this imbalance, a portion of our people have volunteered to seek new homes among the stars. This, of course, has put us into greater contacts with beings such as yourself, and we welcome the new ideas and technology that you have to offer. Perhaps by looking inward for so long, we have become out of balance with the galaxy as a whole. I look forward to your help in correcting this. Tell me about the ruins in the east to the east of here. We believe that the site to the east of here was once used by the preservers, because we have located several artifacts that appear to correspond with their technology. Although we do not know for certain, it is our belief that the Defuri were one of the races seeded throughout the quadrant by the Preservers. They, like us, revered balance and saw life as sacred. They went to great lengths to preserve all life. Can you explain more about balance? Everything must be in balance. When one side is dominant over the other, the inequity breeds resentment. The resentment leads to hatred and misunderstanding. On our world, there is equity in everything. All major decisions are made by polling the populace, so that a small group of leaders will not have power over the whole. Persons in what can be deemed leadership positions, like myself, serve at the pleasure of our people. If we abuse our positions, there will be imbalance, and we will be removed. Tell me more about the Preservers. The Preservers were an ancient race that died out eons ago, but made a great impact on the galaxy in their time. The Preservers would transplant members of races that were threatened by extinction to worlds where they could thrive. The planet Amarand was settled by them, and they brought ancient Terrans there to create a new community. Yeah, I remember that episode of the original series. I am curious, though, why did they bring Terrans to that world? They said they would, you said that they transplant members of races that were threatened by extinction? Was there something that threatened our extinction? Were they talking about the Ice Age? I don't understand. For many years, scientists theorized that the Preservers were responsible for the spread of humanoids across the galaxy. We now know that the Preservers not only transplanted communities, but also created them. Oh yeah, that was also another question. Whatever happened to those Terrans on that planet from the original series? Did we ever make contact with them again? Or... I don't know. The Preservers believed they were alone in the galaxy. In the hopes of creating an ecosystem of races like themselves, they seeded their genetic material on other planets. In this way, they gave their children the companions that they never had. Sir, sensors from the Lady Gaia are picking up Breen transporter signatures. Get ready, sir. They could be hostile. That's an interesting looking tree. Oh, whoops. I walked right past them. We broke through Federation defenses and attacked your homeworld. We ruined your fleets during the war. You should know better than to oppose us, Starfleet. We will wrest the Preserver's secrets from this place, and we will destroy anyone who attempts to stop us. Obviously, it is not safe for me to remain here, given the threat of further attacks. What now? I shall return to the Jessica for now, my friend. I believe I will be I believe I will be of best use there. Sir, there are more ships warping in. We need you and the away team back on the ship, sir. Prepare for emergency transport. Sir, the Breen are attacking the Jessica. We should intervene before they are overwhelmed. Sir, the Breen don't attack at random. I'd say that there is more going on here than the Furry are telling us. Being hailed by the Jessica, sir. Shall I put it on screen? Thank you for the assist, Lady Gaia. We took some damage, but it's nothing that a few days in space dock won't fix. My friend, I have not been completely honest with you. I fear my actions are out of balance with the universe. I think we should speak face to face. Do I have permission to come aboard the USS Lady Gaia? Permission granted. Honorable ally, I apologize for my secrecy, but at the time it was the best course of action. This is not the first time that the Breen have attacked Defara. Their aggression has increased in recent weeks, and we have been unable to either stop them or open a diplomatic dialogue. The Federation has always promised to be our ally in a time of need. While we prefer to remain neutral in your conflicts, we have looked favorably upon the Federation's actions. You seek to maintain peace and stability throughout the Alpha Quadrant. Now we are in need of your help. The Breen are attacking our ships and colonies without provocation. Hundreds have died, and I fear that more lives will be lost unless we have your assistance. The people face destruction. I cannot believe that the balance of the universe requires us to die. What could the Breen want at the ruins? The Breen could share our belief that the ruins are the remains of a preserver installation. The preservers were powerful. If the Breen gained access to their knowledge or technology, they might be able to use it to shift the balance of power in the quadrant. Our archaeologists have been studying those ruins for decades. If there's anything there that the Breen could use, we have not found it. We're done for today, Ambassador. Ambassador Sarah has safely returned to the Jessica. You are a friend to the Teferi. We will speak again, and it is my fondest hope that you will be able to repair the balance and save my people from the Breen. Then we can have a long-lasting and peaceful alliance. We will speak again soon. Yeah, consumed on use. Eject cryoplasma.
Congratulations, Admiral.
We have lost contact with 2 transports en route to the outer colonies. There were more than 400 Teferi on those vessels, and with the rising threat from the Breen, I fear the worst. The last known location was near VZA-4001, and I suggest that you start your search there. The Breen have no compunction against attacking civilian ships. We seek peace with the Breen, as we do with all beings. But they answer our offers of friendship with death and destruction. Find our ships. If there are any survivors, please bring them home safely. Well, this is a strange area of space. Sir, we are receiving an emergency distress signal from the Defuri freighter Sabak. I'm patching it through to the main view screen now, sir. To all ships in range, this is the Defuri freighter Sabak. We are under attack and require immediate assistance. We have no weaponry aboard and our shields are failing. Anyone who can hear this, please help. Must be one of the Breen raiding parties that we were warned about, sir. If we don't get there fast, there won't be anyone left aboard to save. We've located the Sabak by tracing their distress signal, sir. And we can engage on your command. Launch fighters. Thank you for saving us. Our sister ship, the Paktau, was waylaid by Breen raiders at our scheduled rendezvous point. We made a micro-warp jump as soon as the Breen arrived and used the magnetic field of the comet to hide our energy signature. But the Breen have better sensors than we do. They found us. If you hadn't come along when you did, we would have been obliterated. I'm worried about the Breen being at our next stop. So I'm going to try to get there ahead of schedule and be gone before they arrive. If you could, please find the Paktau. There were dozens of people on board that ship. This is the Defuri ship Paktau. We escaped from a Breen slaver attack, and our antimatter containment unit and warp coils are non-functional. We need some replacement parts immediately. We're on the edge of a warp core breach. Is there any ship in range? Please, we need help. Sir, there are Brain ships inbound at Warp 7. 2 waves, from the looks of it. The first should be on top of us in a few seconds. Battle stations. Thank you for your fortunate assistance. We should be fine from here. I want to catch up with our sister ship, the Sabak. They fled at the first sight of the Brain Raiders. We heard some of the slavers who attacked us talking about the Zarya system. If you want to take care of the Brain menace for good, you might want to start by looking for them there. Course laid in for the Zarya system, sir. Looks like there's nothing there of interest, just a broken planetoid. The system scans that the Fury provided are fairly out of date, though, so something may have changed. Standing by to engage on your command, sir. Sir, that destroyed planet has a dilithium-rich core. Looks like the Breen have set up a mine inside the remains of the planetoid. And true to form, they're using all the captured Defuri as slave labor. We'll have to defeat the Breen picket squadrons before we can beam down to the mine. It looks like there is only a small force, sir. last of the scout squad, sir. Unfortunately, we can't just beam up to the ferry. The Breen have some sort of transporter disruptor field in place. We need to get down there and disable it before we can rescue the Teferi slave laborers. Sir's sensors are showing that the Breen are using 3 separate transport disruptors. We will need to knock out those disruptors before we can transport any of the prisoners back to the Lady Gaia. The transport disruptors appear to be specifically keyed to Teferi physiology. That would allow the Breen to beam in and out at will, but the prisoners would be trapped. It also explains why our transporter signal wasn't disrupted. We will need to neutralize any Breen guard groups inside as well. Can't risk any unexpected Breen technology that might interfere with our rescue operation. Oh god, I'm in ice! Ow. Hey, got some Kanar. all the disruptors and guards, sir. I'm picking up a new contact aboard the station. We may have aroused the curiosity of the Breen commander. We should make sure the Defuri have beamed away safely before investigating this new threat. We have confirmation that all Defuri prisoners have transported safely. We are clear to return. You're the one known as Venitra. I was expecting someone more impressive. After all, thought Wen was one of my most reliable veterans. Defeating him must have pushed you to your limits. I'd like to say that I am looking forward to meeting you in person, but because I expect Thought Gran to end your life here, I am afraid that won't be possible. You've been interesting, but ultimately insignificant. Farewell. That's it. Now that we've taken care of the officer in charge, this entire mining operation should fall apart. But who sent that message? Thought Trell? Could he be who is behind all of the problems the Defuri are having? We need to look into this in more detail, sir. Starfleet should be able to send patrols to ensure that the Breen don't set up shop here again. Or perhaps the Defuri will establish a dilithium mine here themselves. You can leave whenever you are ready. The survivors are on their way home, and we will be sending an expedition out to assess the viability of operating the mines ourselves. I think it would be wise to consider a joint operation with your government. The resources in the Zarya system are rare, and the best way to maintain the balance may be to share them with you. Thank you for all of your assistance. Your actions help to preserve the balance. We are receiving a distress signal in the Rave system. A Defuri transport weathered a Breen attack, but they've taken heavy casualties and are requesting immediate assistance. My people do not have military ships, Admiral, and I am loath to send a lightly armored rescue vessel into such a dangerous situation. Please, you must do whatever you can to help them. A rapid reload transphasic torpedo launcher, huh? How intriguing. Okay, so for this one, I recall having to negotiate with a Breen. And if you fail the mission and you have to start over again. Hopefully we can avoid that. Captain, we're being hailed by a disabled ferry frigate. Putting it on screen now. Thank you for responding to our distress call. We were boarded by the Breen and have taken severe casualties. We could use any medical aid you could render. Please approach and beam over as soon as you can. This is actually quite a beautiful map here. By the balance, couldn't have arrived at a better time. I need every available person to help with patients. I think the Breen take pleasure in causing pain. A few of our crew were killed, but many have been injured. If you want to help, I need someone at table 7. Take the patient's medical history and triage the injury. If it is a minor issue, go ahead and treat them, so we can make room for another patient. Please, it hurts. Help me. What hurts? It's my left side. I took a disruptor hit from a Breen rifle. Please, I need something for the pain. Do you have anything that will help? Treatment for disruptor injuries? There are several medications available from the Defuri medkits that we can use to treat this patient's pain. Acenoleathan, picaridine, hydrocortisone, metarapan, and morphinolog are all indicated for pain relief. Once the patient is stable. Do you have any allergies? I'm highly allergic to metarapan. I was given it once, and my airway swelled until it was completely blocked. I almost died. It is a very common drug used to treat and manage pain, especially in patients with this level of trauma. It's a good thing we caught this. Are you taking any medications currently? No? Do I look like I should be? Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? How often do you think I get shot by a Breen? Last time I saw a physician was 2 years ago. I was treated for polywater intoxication. What were you doing before you were injured? I was repairing a power conduit on deck 2. You didn't even give me a chance to surrender. Okay, so you're allergic to that. Indicated for decreasing serious trauma injuries. Let me look at everything else here. Sport-related injuries. So I think it's this one. So it was highlighted the whole time, so. Pain from the disruptor wound is subsiding. That feels much better, thank you. I now use the protoplasma. Good work with that last patient. Has anyone ever told you that you have a talent for medicine? I need someone to check out the patient on table 3. I would appreciate any help you can give us. Mother, is that you? I am not your mother. What hurts? An older boy named Hoska used to take my favorite toys when I brought them to school. If I tried to fight him to take them back, he'd break the toys so that no one could play with them. My mother said Hoska was out of balance. Do you have any allergies? I hated the taste of my mother's stew when I was young. Hey, I'm your mother you're talking to, remember? She tried to convince me it tasted like spring, but I thought it tasted like bugs. Come on, spring always tastes like bugs. And wet. Bugs and wet. Are you taking any medications? I used to play in the mud every time it rained. My mother thought I'd get sick from playing outside in the cold and the damp, but I never got sick, not even once. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? I loved it when my mother would sweep me up into her arms and hug me tight. She smelled like love and cooking herbs. When was the last time you ate? I used to pick berries with my sister on the hills overlooking the farm where we grew up. They were tart, so my mother would sprinkle granulated clover honey on them. What were you doing before you got injured? My father used to sing rhymes to me when I was a child. I would fall asleep in his arms and have the best dreams. This patient seems disoriented and unaware of their surroundings. I agree, Captain. It may be symptoms of brain trauma, but we cannot rule out a psychological breakdown until we do a mental status check. Stress of the brain attack may have been more than the patient's mind could process. Do you know your name? My sister had a doll she used to call Ilka. Do you know approximately what time it is? I loved catching umek insects at twilight. The light from the descending sun would make their wings glow like golden fire. Do you know where you are? Can we have our dessert now? I finished all my vegetables. Do you know what year it is? My sister is 3 years older than I am. That meant my mom let her do all the fun things, while I had to sit and watch. There's nothing obviously wrong with the patient's mental status. I recommend that we scan the brain tissue for new trauma. A hyperencephalogram should reveal if there is any damage. Captain, it appears that there is a cortical implant in this patient's brain that is causing the disorientation and delusions. There's an extremely high amount of neural activity in the area around the implant. Perhaps if we were able to decrease the activity with an anesthetic, the patient would be more responsive. I'm guessing it's this one since it's hovering over this. Where am I? I remember the Breen attack, and there was this medic. He seemed sad. The Breen implanted me with a cortical implant. It has been forcing me to relive memories from my past. Please help me get it out of my head. I don't want to live like this. The anatrazine worked, Captain. Removing a cortical implant is a tricky process. We should confer with Dr. Kosa about how to proceed. I'm not familiar with any technology like this. Any attempt I'd make at removing it would be based upon an educated guess. We have some captured Breen in the brig waiting for transport to a holding facility. Perhaps you could question them. One of the monsters who did this to my patient might know how to reverse the process. When were you going to tell me you had Breen prisoners? Okay, just find ice everywhere. Sir, there are a few things you should know about the Breen before we talk to them. The Breen are a warrior race. They do what is expedient, and will often take prisoners rather than kill. You get more work out of a slave than a dead man, after all. This may seem cold and callous to us, but to the Breen it is only logical. Survival and duty are more important to them than morality. The Breen are very concerned with personal honor. Do not insult a Breen's honor or suggest that they will kill without cause. You should be fine in your interrogation. What are you looking at, Starfleet? What is your name? Look at you, cowering in the shadow of Thought Trell. What hope could the Furry possibly have against might like this? I will not answer your questions, but bother someone else. Tell me about Thought Trell. Thought Trell has more power and vision than a pathetic being like yourself can possibly comprehend. The Defuri will be the first to fall to his might, but they will not be the last. He will not stop until the entire Alpha Quadrant serves the Breen Confederacy. Someday soon, I will stand on the blasted remains of your homeworld and celebrate our victory. I will grind the remains of your leaders into dust under my boot heels. Thought Trell will be the man who makes this possible. Torture me if you wish, but I will never betray the Breen Confederacy. What is your name? Are you here to let me go? What is your name? I am Tran. What are you doing here? I am a combat medic in the Fifth Order. I serve the Breen Confederacy. I was ordered to go to this system by my superiors. I am sure that you have encountered other Breen in the Furry sector. What does attacking a civilian transport have to do with it? Okay. I do not feel comfortable continuing this conversation. My commanding officer is in a nearby cell, and he can overhear everything that we are saying. While I do not agree with his actions in this matter, I respect his position of authority. I will not throw his dishonor in his face. commanding officer cannot hear what we are saying. My superior thought that these Defuri civilians might have the information for which we have been searching. While I might have disagreed with his choice of target, it is not a soldier's place to question his commanding officer. I think my dissension was the reason I was selected to join the assault on the ship's bridge, a dangerous task in the best of circumstances, and one that had the least chance of success. Did you object to your commanding officer about this assignment? I'm not sure how you run things in Starfleet, but in the Bryn Confederacy we obey our commanders. I may not always be pleased by what I am ordered to do, but I understand that there is a goal that must be achieved and that I may not have all the facts that my superiors do. Do you believe that the goal you are attempting to achieve was worth killing civilians? I didn't want to attack this ship. There is a nobility in being a soldier. When I enter battle, I know I could be killed. I know that others will die at my hands. That is what we must do. It is part of being a soldier. Civilians are not part of this unspoken agreement. They do not wake up each day and know in their hearts it should be their last. They should be out of bounds as targets for people like you and me. There is no honor in fighting someone who is unprepared to fight back. I regret that I had orders to kill these civilians. More than that, I regret that I carried out those orders. What were your orders? I am a combat medic. Normally, my task is to repair the injuries of my fellow soldiers. On this mission, I was tasked with capturing civilians alive and fitting them with subspace cortical implants. These devices are barbaric, even by our standards. We use them to obtain memories from the most obstinate of interrogation subjects. This particular implant has a subspace relay intended to capture and transmit these memories so that my superiors can sift through the secrets locked in our victims' minds, even as we moved on to implant more subjects. Why did you do this? What information did the Defuri have that you needed so badly? I am not sure what exactly the commanders wanted to learn from these people. I can only guess that my superiors wanted information that they felt could be held by any member of the Defuri population. The cortical implants were calibrated to bring long-term memories to the surface, even going back to the target's childhood. Perhaps they wanted to learn something that even a Defuri child might know. Would the probe Defuri know what memories were being searched? Perhaps, if they had the mental fortitude to recall the memories that were triggered during their interrogation. The pain from the implants can be quite intense. How do we remove the implant? The removal of a cortical implant is a very delicate procedure. The implants are intended to be strong enough to survive the interrogation process, but too difficult to be removed by the subject or anyone else. I have worked with these implants for some time. Have your doctors talk to me, and I will tell them what they need to do to remove them. This is just the information we needed. I will round up a surgical team, and we will begin the process of removing the implant immediately. I spent some time talking to the patient while you were in the brig. It sounded to me like the brain implant was triggering memories from the patient's early childhood, many of them involving rhymes and songs. Rhymes and songs? Most the furry parents and grandparents sing to their children and tell them stories of our past and our traditions. A common theme in our songs is the preservers. We sing of their travels through the universe, their efforts to maintain the balance, and their great archive. My children are particularly fond of songs about the Preserver's archive, a hidden place where they left all of their technology and records of the ancient days. It's an interesting story, but I don't know if a place like that could actually exist. After all, we're talking about children's rhymes. Captain, the Breen must believe that the Preserver archive exists. There is no other explanation as to why they would target the furry civilians in order to obtain information about nursery rhymes. Before you leave, Tran has requested to talk to you again. He's waiting in his cell. Thank you for returning. I know that helping you was the right thing to do, but because I did so, I can never return to the Bring Confederacy. Therefore, I would like to request asylum from the Federation. I, however, am not alone in this request. There are a small group of Breen that share my feelings. We know that attacking innocents is wrong. If you accept us, we would all like to join you. I'll give you the information necessary to contact them. It may take some time before they are willing to respond. Your future actions will help speed up that process. We send a communication based on trans information. I can't be sure that it was received. So, at this point, I believe the only thing we can do is wait for a response. I must say I'm surprised any Breen could be capable of reason. Impressive work, sir. The furries seem to have things under control for now. Are you ready to leave the system? Well, you used to be able to get like a bridge officer from doing that, but now the only way you can get him is if you buy this. Yes. Duty officers. I remember stories about the preservers from my childhood, and of course we have ruins linked to them on Defura. But I have never heard of an intact preserver installation. The Breen, however, are taking these stories quite seriously, and if the Breen manage to acquire preserver-level technology, they could shift the balance of power in the entire Alpha Quadrant. It's lucky that you were able to establish a connection with Tran. I believe that he was sent by the powers to help maintain the balance in the galaxy, and I am grateful. I know your intelligence service has more questions for him, but after that, I promise I'll do what I can to see that he and any other Breen who disagree with their government's actions are not forgotten. One of your commanding officers was requesting to speak. One of your commanding officers was requesting to speak with you. You should consider meeting with them when you are done here. You must return to Defura immediately. The Breen are searching for preserver technology, and they are once again targeting the ruins near our city. I fear that more of my people will die, and with each death, balance shifts. These attacks need to stop. We are depending on you. Stop the Breen, and keep the secrets of the preservers safe from their treachery. Oh yeah, this is like a bit of a social grenade. You can just throw at some other players. But this is what I want right here. It provides me with a cool visual for my impulse engines. I really wish I knew how many more of these I have. I know this is technically supposed to be short, but I just don't remember how short it is. Like, I think maybe there's one more episode after this one? Just can't remember. Captain Long-Range scans confirm the Defuri ambassador's suspicions. It appears that there is a portion of the star chart hidden in the ruins on the planet's surface. Something is interfering with the scans, though, so we can't pinpoint the location from here. An away team might be able to do surface scans in order to locate the star chart and retrieve it, but we will need to be in close. That sentence needs some more work, I think. But we will need to be close. But we will need to be in transporter range in order to beam down. God damn it. Captain, look down there. The ruined area is consistent with our records of potential preserver sites. If there really is a fragment of the star chart on this planet, there is a very good chance that's where it would be. Sir, I've just received updated data from the ship's computer. Apparently, the site closely resembles a preserver site in the Byrnjolf system. The indigenous people there were able to access the site by performing a ritual. Records indicate that 3 people arranged themselves atop plinths, forming arrows to point east, then south, then southeast. That's all the data I have, sir, but we may find it applicable to the site as well. Okay. You've done it, Captain. Yay! Captain, ship sensors are reporting multiple anomalous contacts. Maybe brain ships at long range, sir. The transporter room is standing by to beam you up as soon as you're ready. There's a brain attack force converging on our position, Captain. They must have realized that we would be coming here for part of the star chart, sir. I'll bet they waited for us to do the work so they could swoop in and steal our data. There's no room to make a run for it. We're going to have to fight our way out. Going to red alert. That's the last of them, sir. Though with all this debris, I don't trust the sensors. I'll be happier once we're out of this area and back into our open space. The computer has completed its analysis of the star chart, and there's an encoded marker indicating that the Shinga system is a significant location. Perhaps we should investigate there next. I'll lay in a course on your command, sir. Excuse me. Captain, I am detecting a gaseous anomaly on the far side of the planet. The line of navigational beacons should lead us right to it. That seems like a good place to start our search. Is this a habited world or something? Is that the anomaly or is that it? Let me see, this is it. Yep, okay, here we go.
Scanning in progress.
We've transported a sample of the gas to a containment chamber, but there is no record of anything with this molecular structure on record. It might be a synthetic compound or the byproduct of some sort of as yet unknown stellar phenomenon. Science staff is now working on a complete analysis. I've got some, Captain. The preservers were known to encode data in the world around them, so I superimposed the molecular structure of the gas sample onto the orbital pattern of the system. It's a map, sir, and it's pointing to something beneath the surface of that small moon. Recommend we approach and perform a level 1 submolecular scan and determine if there's anything of note there. It's a pretty cool looking planet. Let's fly into the atmosphere. Whee!
Scanning in progress.
This is incredible. The interior of the moon is hollow, and it contains a vast geological array that charts the heliocentric motions of everything in this solar system. The orrery suggests that there should be 2 large asteroids in this area, but I'm only reading 1. Perhaps they collided in the millennia since the structure was created. I am, however, reading an energy source on the remaining asteroid. It is buried deep in the rubble on the surface. If there was a collision, it is logical to assume that the rubble is all that remains of the second asteroid. We will need to remove the rubble to get better reading on the energy source, sir. Astonishing. Who knows how long this trail of breadcrumbs has been here, just waiting to be discovered. We should scan the star chart and add it to our existing fragment. Perhaps it will point the way to the next fragment. Who knows? Maybe we'll finally find Luke Skywalker.
Scanning in progress.
The computer has synthesized a new star chart. From our 2 fragmentary scans, Captain. Preliminary analysis indicates that whoever created these charts placed great significance on an L-class planet in the Menex system. Course plotted and standing by to engage on your command, sir. At least everything isn't that far away from each other. Captain, I'm detecting a Breen squadron dead ahead, but they're moving away from us at full impulse. They must already have what they came for, or else they would be engaging us directly. The Breen aren't afraid of a fight. We can't let them get away with a piece of the star chart. They could beat us to the archive. We'll have to chase them down. Sir, we have intercepted a transmission from one of the Breen ships. The message was unsecured. They must not have had time to encrypt it during the firefight. The message contains a fragment of the star chart. They must have retrieved it from the planet below before we arrived. For all we know, Breen ships could already be en route to the archive. And we'll begin analysis to determine our next location immediately. Star chart analysis complete, Captain. And we're headed to Rave 2. I just hope the Breen don't get there before we do. We need all the pieces of the star chart to find what the preservers were hiding. Course laid in, ready to leave. Scanners are picking up evidence of a running skirmish on the surface of the planet, sir. It appears that the Breen are attacking an archaeological dig site. We better get down there as soon as possible. We don't want the Breen to escape with another piece of the star chart. Captain, take a look at these scans. The frozen rock face near the center of the crater shows signs of a hollow interior. These readings are consistent with preserver power sources. There are multiple Breen life signs in the area. and they're moving in a search pattern. They haven't found it yet, but it won't be safe to approach the site until we have subdued the guards. And it is quite pretty. Even if it is a frozen wasteland. The green threat has been contained. Oh, no. Wait, what? Okay. I'd like to personally thank you for finding the final star chart fragment. If I had known you were going to ultimately prove useful, perhaps I'd have considered sparing your life. Of course, I'd have only spared it up to this point anyway, so things would have ended the same either way. Still, considering all you've done to aid the Breen on their final goal, I might consider letting you and your officers live. Why not just beam back up to your ship and run back to your Federation like a good Starfleet lapdog? If you wish to fall today, however, I am happy to help you. Why don't you think it over and give your answer to Thought Par? He's been dying to meet you ever since you defeated Thought Gran. Found the final piece of the star chart. Now we can assemble it. Scanning and transmission are complete, Captain. I believe we can find the Preserver Archive with the information we have, sir. And with luck, we'll get there before the Breen do. This should be the last episode, then. Excellent work, Admiral. Our stellar cartography teams are looking at the star charts you recovered as we speak. It might take some time to completely compensate for a stellar shift, but if we can pinpoint a location, I am confident that my government will authorize an expedition to find this Preserver Archive. All things in balance, and all things in time. Our scientists have consulted with your commanders, and they concur with your crew's theory. If there is an intact preserver library, it is likely to be located in the Lanus system. I suggest that you begin your search on Lanus 3. It has a climate very similar to Defera. If the preservers settled here eons ago, it is possible that they would have chosen a similar world for this facility. Please be safe, but be quick. Long-range sensors have detected Breen vessels in the space near the Lanus system. I fear that they have made the same conclusions we have. You must find the preserver technology before they do. And this is what I'm going to be getting. CRM 200. This used to be like one of my favorite weapons. I would use. Why did I do that? Oh, right. Because I wanted to put this on. Hey, now I got some blue frosty impulse engines. Captain, sensors show a skirmish between the small brain invasion force and small pockets of Alpha Jem'Hadar. Records show that the Dominion had a base in this system during the Dominion War. It is conceivable that the Alpha Jem'Hadar took it over after the Dominion retreated. Neither side will be happy to see us here. I recommend we engage now while we still have the element of surprise. Wait, there's a Galore class here? Guess Two-Way is here as well. There are brain life signs already on the surface, Captain. We will need to hurry, or they'll ransack the archive. Oh god, I'm getting a bit sleepy. Guess it's a good thing this is the last episode. When this is done, the next stuff we'll be working on is the Iconian War. But not tonight, of course. Sensors show multiple life forms, Captain, but something is interfering with the biological filtering. I can't tell exactly what is out there. I recommend that we proceed with caution, but we need to find the brain before they can access the Preserver Archive. I'm getting some interesting readings from an object in the northeast. Recommend that we head in that direction. Readings indicate that it could be fully or partially buried, so keep your eyes open. Empty planet. Purple lava. What's with that whistling? Oh, that's weird. It is weird. Oh, there's like purple lava flowing from that tree. Can I stand in it? Nope.
Enemy targets on sensors.
Captain, this device seems to be connected to a subterranean power source. I can't pinpoint the location of the source, but if we can locate an area where the energy disturbance is strongest, then we should be able to triangulate the location of the underground power network. Sir, I'm reading multiple transporter signatures. I believe we've alerted the brain to our location. They're coming right for us! Ow. I didn't realize the brain had melee weapons. Ow. On your feet, Coraline. Fascinating. It appears that the energy readings are faint neutrino emissions. I only can surmise that the archive is powered by an antimatter reactor. And if the preservers were using antimatter reactions thousands of years ago, the technology may be much more advanced than we realized. Captain, if we can locate the antimatter reactor's neutrino emitter, I can use resonance mapping to chart the whole facility. More lava flows right there. That is so strange, but it looks pretty cool. Excellent. We can map out the entire facility from here. And from the looks of it, there have been multiple cave-ins and signs of recent excavation. The brain must already be inside. I've located a surface entrance nearby. We should get there immediately. What's going on with that over there? In the sky as well. A bit strange and worrisome. This obelisk may be the key to accessing the archive. Using the information we've gathered thus far, we should examine it and see if it can provide information on how we might proceed. Oh, look at that, we have 2 tardigrades for some reason. Sir, when that last group of green beamed in, I detected an energy pulse coming from a section of the obelisk. I believe that section to be an access point to the archives. Based on our research so far, I should be able to open that access point. Wanted to check something real quick. Okay. How clever you are, Venitra. I see you found the entrance to the ancient weapons store. Too bad your journey will end here, at the hands of my most elite. I'm almost sad to see you go after all you've done for me. That is, after all we've been through together. Yes, what a tragedy it is. Ow. Oh wait, that's not one of my crewmen. They all died together. Come on, kids, get up. We must need to use these consoles to access the archives. The server technology is often sound-based. We'll need to find the right pattern. That was mid. Hi. Low. Yeah, I had a feeling it wouldn't. Oh, wait, what? Okay. How kind of you to open that lock for me. Every time I wonder if it was wise to let you live, you do something like this and show me you're worth keeping around. You need to hurry and open the archive, sir, before the Breen send more troops. Way ahead of you. Welcome. Long have we waited for our children to seek us out. Who are you? I am the guardian of all who my people were, and all that they remember. My task was to keep the archive safe until the day when our children would be united, and would want to know who we were. Welcome, my child. I'm so happy to finally meet you. Tell me about your race. Long ago, life developed on our world before all others. We explored the galaxy. But we were alone. But what is life when there is no one with which to share the joys or the sorrows? So if the galaxy would not give us companions, we would create them. We created you. Our scientists seeded many worlds and directed evolution. We wanted you to resemble us, but more importantly, we wanted you to understand us. Unfortunately, we knew that we would not live to see you become what you have become. and create the great wonders that we knew were possible. Most of my people are gone, and the fact that a fragment of them lives on in you is enough. But we knew that someday you would seek us out, and so a few of us remained, waiting for you and the world that would be. Tell me about your technology. We are the technology you seek. Our main focus of study was the genetic code. We learned how to manipulate this code, not only to create dozens of species to seed across hundreds of worlds, but also how to use it to alter our own genetics. You might call us living computers. Each preserver has the genetic memory of our entire race. All of our knowledge and history is stored within each of us. Are there more preservers here? Hundreds. While each preserver has the genetic memory of the entire race, it was deemed important to preserve individuals so that if the time came when we could live with our children, there would be sufficient numbers to maintain our species. We built this place and slept, dreaming of the world that would become. We dreamed of the world that would create. What will happen to the preservers now? Some will return to their long sleep. A few may want to see the world their children have created. The galaxy is yours now, my children. We are so pleased with what you have created.
Everything here now belongs to Thottrell.
We will freely share our knowledge with all of our children.
Give me the secrets of your ancient weapons. I will use them to destroy.
No, my child. I cannot help you. There are no weapons here.
Do you know who I am? You will obey.
This is a place of knowledge. A place of learning.
A library? A library? No! Destroy it! I love that reaction. A library? No! Ow. There he is. But I'm Thottrell. How can I die?
Captain, a Defuri ship has entered the system. They're requesting permission to beam down science teams to begin examining the archive. Word from Starfleet Command is that this will be a joint operation led by the Defuri. Thank you, Captain, for your help. Since I was a child, I've listened to stories about the Preservers. I never even dreamed that someday I would have the chance to meet one. But you have made this possible. My people will celebrate this day. The balance has been restored. You have our eternal gratitude. Captain, this is amazing! The Preservers are the earliest known sentient race. To find an archive of their knowledge, and to find Preservers still alive, it's almost too much to take in. We will learn more about the earliest days of the universe than we ever thought possible. The Preservers will be able to tell us about the origins of our worlds, and even about races like the Iconians. Teams will be working in this archive for decades. So much I want to learn, but I know we have to return to the Lady Gaia. Ambassador Syrah and Starfleet Command will be waiting to learn what we found. We can leave on your order, sir. You have made a most extraordinary discovery. The Preservers are alive. We can learn so much from them. They will have knowledge of the early days of the galaxy that has been lost through time. Perhaps they even remember the Iconians or the Tekken Empire. What the hell is the Tekken Empire? But more important than even the knowledge we will gain is the safety of my people. The Breen threat has ended, and we have you to thank. But now and always, you will be a friend to the Teferi. May your life always be in perfect balance. Give me that. Okay. So we are done. Next up would be the Iconian War. So that is what we will be doing next time. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the future. Goodbye.